Now, I'm not 100% sure how many people watch this video because how Velma is sort of stopped people caring about watching it and talking about it because how much hate it really was. But before anything went down, a lot of people actually compare this to Daria. At some points, they believe the ripoff stole from the original. In fact, that's a specific segment I like to do. They sort of compare of the original and the ripoff because sometimes the ripoff steals something, but sometimes nothing to do from the original. They look the same, they have maybe similar scenes, but sometimes some people actually come up with the same idea at the same time. Sometimes completing different periods, sometimes on the same month and year. But yet, it doesn't really matter. The question is, does it actually does something with it? How different and completely the same they actually are? That's sort of the question I always ask myself doing these sort of segments. And Daria and Velma are the perfect sort of subject matter of this video. Of course, before I get started, my name is Rachel. I like to talk about animation, not just animation, reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have some spare time, cartoon breaking news. Of course, I do appreciate if you want to support my channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. One of the things that really help my channel, I'm just saying it because how small I actually am. A little anything like that really helps my channel. If you do, I'm completely grateful. If you do, thank you very much. If you don't, that's fine. Now let's get started on the video. Now I think we start for the original Daria. What it is, because I'm 100% sure some of you probably never heard of it or briefly maybe heard the name, but yet don't know what it is. Daria is basically a young teenager from the 90s who goes to school, but yet she doesn't really want to basically get into clubs or into people. She's sort of anti people in general because she just thinks people are complete idiots. And that's really is a pitch of this show. But yet, I think the most interesting thing about Daria that she is sort of not the main lead, even that she has the title, that even she ends and begins the show. That her point of view is how society actually works, and point to the viewers that the world is not black and white, but even that Daria kind of preaches, but doesn't really preaches. She shows. In fact, one of the biggest strengths of Daria is to show how people, how they are, and how what the direction they're going, how successful will be, because they're the sort of stereotype you see constantly on the medium, like the famous football player in your own high school, and you believe, yeah, this guy going international, this guy will be super successful in the future, even that kind of stupid. The one reason why he's super successful catching a ball and moving to one side the other. And the fact that it sort of sounded dumb, but even that the show do point out at the end of the series, you have to be willing to be the perfect person. You're willing to be successful. You're willing to put the work, even using your own brain, because one of the main lead characters, Kevin, wasn't the smartest of all. He even tries to be smart, but I really love it that he doesn't really is an evil person. In fact, none of the characters are especially evil. They're just kind of happy-go-lucky people. They do fit the stereotype, but never mean-spirited. In the fact, that's why they work so well, because Daria knows how the world works, at least the teenage point of view, because she's seen it before it's seen before it, and what not expected. But it shows that people are more complicated. Even that they get rewarded because they're idiots, but sometimes being an idiot doesn't mean you get rewarded. You get punishments. And that was sort of interesting. Even that how the show develops, it sort of inflates everything, and the point it just sort of satirized words. And that's the reason why it's just sort of fun to see. Even that Daria is completely wrong. Even that Daria doesn't really preaches that much. In fact, a total of 5 seasons and I think 3 movies or 2 movies that she only preaches 3 times. But only that 3 times because she was sort of pressured to say something. And that's it. That's kind of amazing because compared to Velma, that it's basically the same thing to Daria, but the only difference is the fact it's a mystery horror show, a slasher film that sort of commentates of sort of tropes, the media, and people in general. But this is the thing, what Velma make a mistake is that they force the narrative to happen. They force Velma to point things and bitch about it. But that's the problem. She does it so much time. The character is just so bitter, so unlikable. Even that she was right, you don't really care because you don't really like her because she's just sort of a very negative person. Even that compared to Daria, because Daria is a negative person. She's a very sassy woman. That she is a bitch, but she doesn't really does anything. She just keep her mouth shut and walk away because she knows what they are and she doesn't want to be involved into it. Even that she's wrong and proven to be wrong. Even the other episode because it shows the character of Daria they're a little bit more complicated than they actually are. And Velma tried to do the same thing but fails because how mean spirited it is. And that's the thing. That's the two similarities just fascinate me because that's sort of this the similarities they how they go in two different directions. That how Velma approaches a commentary that you just trying to preach and annoys people, and Dara doesn't preach and she walks away. She just presents the subject matter of the society she was showing in her world. Just see them how kind of happy, not really mean spirited people they are, but they are privileged to have that sort of things to use because they're a football star, because they're the mayor, or maybe the politician trying to run another run and uses people, but yet they're not malicious. And that's the interesting part, is that things happen and just go with it. And that's what makes Darba completely wrong, her approach, and yet she never feels unlikable. She's very sassy, but that's why the show works so well compared to Velma, that they trying to give her more depth, trying to get more into lot of different subject matter, but every time she goes a specific subject matter, it just sort of fails to execute or understand the subject matter it presents. And that's the shocking part. This is the reason why people basically hate watch it, because it's just fascinating how many ideas Velma presents on the show. It just misexecute, misunderstand, and also kind of outdated ideas that even supposed to be a very comedic take. Just sort of a bad taste in your mouth and just sort of shocking. Every single joke is written, even that it's trying to be well timed, it's sort of okay. And it's sort of hard to describe. It's just sort of a masterpiece of a clusterfuck. That's the best way to describe it. It's just, it styles me. And you compare it to Velma and Daria, they have the same idea in how they approach things. It's just sort of weird how badly mishandled the show really is compared to Daria. They do care and point out things that doesn't need to be preached. It just shows it. Like there's like a teacher in Daria's school who always happy go lucky, and Daria kind of breaks him by accident, asking, "What's the point of being happy if nothing is to be happy about? How the world is sort of miserable. People are not getting. People are war or famine of different countries." But he never really preaches the whole point of that conversation, to see the happy-go-lucky teacher breaks, to see if he has more to say, even being happy. And he breaks and comes back and says, "Well, I kind of need to happy because the only thing to give back is happiness, except and be miserable. Give misery to other people." It's sort of like a boomerang effect in Daria. Like, they try to give good point of views and good answers to respect the characters, even given a sort of a different perspective to Daria. And that is sort of interesting because Daria is one of the biggest weakness is the fact she doesn't want to help. She doesn't want to conversate. She avoids everything impossible. And even she does something that kind of not feel as well as her. She feels wrong to maybe change someone, but she likes someone or give some advice. And that's the so interesting about Daria. Even that some people believe Daria is very slow and boring show. That is sort of true, but yet it need to be slow. It need to really like the characters to understand their personality. With Velma, you really don't get the understanding of the characters. Even that you seen the trailer of season 2 that they try to give more personality, try to do something with the characters. It just doesn't know what to do. It's that's the thing is sort of fascinating because the people who write Velma are experienced writers, but they want to flip the character to the point it's hysterical, but yet they just don't know what to say. Something interesting, something or point of view. But I think one of the biggest flaws of Velma to compared to Daria that the show points out constantly. Maybe Daria is wrong. Maybe she's just too young to really see. But it does point out to Daria that instead of incident with her parents, kind of made her detached to society. There is not a huge big reveal or anything. Like the very end of the series, they do point out she kind of doesn't want to talk to people, doesn't want to put them in scenario to break down because what happened to her parents because all the stress of the job they actually have, and that stuck to her. And the reason why she's sort of kind of bitchy in other words, and that's why she's sort of distant to people. That's why she doesn't want to try things, even that she's semi right. What's the point of trying things that you can accomplish it because other people who are especially the 1%ers, the people who have the open door open, they can have it that easily and just throw it away. What's the point? And the whole point is that's the reason you need to try. That's the reason you have to because you cannot stop thinking about that. You must figure out who you are and how to help society to become better. And that's usually the biggest point of the series of Daria. And compared to Velma, they try to make Velma semi-right, semi-wrong like Daria, but they sort of misunderstood or at least don't apologize. They try, they have moments, but it doesn't feel sincere. They always, the very beginning, the very end, just assholes. They're just so unlikable. Even that is shows been done before. Complete assholes like Sunny. What's that X show called? Sunny in Philadelphia, I think. That all of them are assholes, but you know they come with an accent. They know any bad thing they do, they will be punished, or even not just punished. You just feel sad for them. You think what Velma trying to do, but yet they still don't understand that. They don't understand the very end. You need to be wholesome. You have to understand. Not everything had to be mean spirited. You have to give us a reason to care, so they care. And that's the biggest flaw of Velma. That not really understanding that. That's the shocking thing. But yet, I don't know you. How you felt this? Do you believe that Velma should have stole more ideas from Daria? Even that is sort of kind of not accidentally a ripoff. I mean, you have to be accidentally. But besides that, how you feel about the show? Do you hate it? Do you like it? You like the comparison I make? Because it's something that just sort of made out on the spot. I don't know if I did it right. Tell me down below. Do you think I made a good comparison or not? I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.